morning, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another long awaited video on the Range Rover Classic. Just thought I'd come straight away, let you know what we're going to be doing. I did say in the last video on the car, me and Chris was going to be doing a bit of a light stroke medium restoration on the car. Today we're going to concentrate on stripping off the bonnet, the scuttle panel, the wings, front bumper, grille, headlights, indicators, all that sort of stuff. Really just getting down to the nitty gritty of what's underneath and what we need to repair so that we can make a bit of a list of stuff that we need to start buying for the car, to start rectifying it and getting it all welded up and hopefully get it back up and running, get it all road legal and get it as nice as we possibly can. Quite a few people on all the other videos that I've been doing recently always mention this car. I'm sure it's going to be a really big hit, and with your help sharing the video, I'm sure it will as well. Quite a lot of people keep saying, just a couple of comments, Rob, rub off the lacquer and re-lacquer it. Guys, that doesn't work. That really does not work. The paint has absolutely had it. That bonnet is going to need a repaint. Again, with the scuttle panel, we got the same situation. It's a shame, really. The wing is absolutely lovely and none of it has chipped off. And then when you get down to the seals, there is all chipped lacquer coming off there. So that is going to need doing. It's the same with the door, and it has started going around the marina handles that people mention. The back door here, we did try just for you guys to spin it up. And as you can see, it just went worse. Again, on the quarter panel, we've got the same. It's the same all the way along the roof. And we've got the same story pretty much all the way around the car. We've got the tailgate there, that's going to need a bit of work and obviously repainting. On this quarter panel, again, we have got little bits pickling off and the rubbers are quite poor. We're going to be changing them. This door, same again, going around the handle, etc. And this door actually looks okay. It doesn't look like any of it's come off, but it does have a few chips and bits and pieces. These bits here will black up and look absolutely beautiful, but these black frames for these doors actually completely remove, so we'll probably be doing that. And then again, moving around to get this wing off and the other bolts for the scuttle panel this side. The A-pillar here can all be blacked up in satin or whatever it actually is originally, possibly gloss. And we'll just be going through and doing all of the bits that need doing on it. But the most important bit, I suppose, is to start stripping off some of these panels. We are going to be having a full respray done on it. So what I'll probably do is, once these bits are actually off today, i.e. the bonnet, the wings, the front bumper, side skirts, etc., I'll probably actually drop those over the paint shop, and then they can make a start on prepping those and getting those ready. This is not going to be an overnight project. We know that. We know it's going to take time. The alloy wheels, once we've got it in a position where it's not going to move for a few days, we can get it jacked up, get those off, get them over smarts, have them refurbished, sort the tyres out and get them put back on. But we're not going to send those off till we've got it up and we've started working on the brakes. So that's pretty much a gist of what's going to be going on. So we're going to crack on now and get this front end off. come in first thing this morning, done that bit of an introduction, and we got cracking on it straight away. And to be fair, it all actually come apart quite nicely, Chris, didn't it? It's, yeah. The chap had actually put, sorry, forgive me, I've forgotten his name now, but the chap we spoke to that used to own the vehicle, he actually put, every time he took a screw out to do some work on the car or replace anything, he replaced it with stainless. So that has made our life very, very easy today. And that has taken pretty much a couple of hours to get all stripped out. I did take the side skirts off there on time lapse. It was probably quite hard to see, but we'll move on to the seals in a minute. So we have stripped it all down, and we'll start off with the front panel. It's as we expected. It is in quite nice condition. There's very, very minimal surface rust on that front panel. We have looked in the back of the light boxes. They all look pretty good as well, and that's a common area where they do go. Onto this inner wing, we took the wing off. Obviously, this is actually the worst part of it. This panel here, as you can see, it has rotted through there, and you couldn't see any of that with the cover on there. So we have had a good look, and it's not actually spread to the top here. That absolutely is fine. It's all solid through there. There's a little bit of surface rust, but we'll be getting rid of that when we replace this whole panel. So we'll have to cut that out. But there's going to be another video on doing the welding and the plates. Obviously I will show them all, but as you can see, it does all look pretty good for its age. Again, there's some surface rust here. You probably did see me brushing it all off with just a dustpan brush to get the majority of the loose stuff off. And then you've got obviously a bit down here and a bit of surface rust up here, and we know that it does need a plate in there or a repair panel, because that's where the side skirt was on and it's actually broken off the bracket. But the seals inside and out all the way along seem really, really good. Right on the bottom of the pillar here, you've just got some surface corrosion where that B pillar is coming down and it's welded to the seal. So we can clean that up, repair that, and that'll all be okay. In the back, just get the back door open, sorry. Right at the back of the seal here, there is some more surface rust, but here it has rotted through just up there. But I did show that on the first ever video. So obviously we will be buying a seal, one seal only. So if it needs any for the other side or this side, we'll just cut a section out of it and weld it in. So we'll probably be replacing it from here down to there. That's the join in it. There is actually, it's not a join, that's where the B pillar goes over the top, but we'll be joining it through there so that it can't be seen. So that's not an issue at all. We'll be doing that. We are going to turn it around in a moment, and we are going to start stripping out the back, like the back bumper, the back lights, and that's all going to be in today's video. We'd like to get that off, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that is in the same sort of condition as everything else. We'll just move around to the driver's side. Again, the seal, exactly the same place. And if you remember in a previous video, I did point out this piece here, but we will be buying a seal, and obviously we'll be cutting a piece out and we'll be sticking it in there, and possibly we'll buy a wheel arch and just use the end part of it, or join it up here somewhere maybe where it's solid, or we try and lose this little bit of surface rust here, just replace it all the absolute best we can with solid metal. Again, the seal right at the front here, absolutely solid, all inside and out. There's no breaks in it at all, no signs of rot. We haven't lifted the carpets right out yet, but again, in one of the previous videos, I did show this, and most of this is just pure muck. And underneath it, we have got a solid green floor. I'm not saying that there's not going to be parts of this that is not going to need repairing, because we have not stripped the carpets out and we've not got down that far yet. We need to concentrate on one bit at a time. So moving on to the driver's side front corner, this is nowhere near as bad as the other side. This is really, really good actually. So the inner scuttle panel there, again, it hasn't crept into that. There's no rot there. The panel is solid, but it does have some rot here. So we will be cutting that out and replacing that with a new piece of metal, and obviously resealing it, getting all this surface rust off, flattening that off and getting it all back beautiful. I did notice under here that this is black, so it does look like it's possibly had a new one of these, but possibly not, I don't know. But as you can see, this is just surface rust this side. It's very, very solid. The sealer is just coming away down the bottom there. So again, we'll be cleaning that up the absolute best we can, seeing if it needs any work, and obviously if it needs any plates, we'll be plating that up and getting it done. Again, all the front box section here, all seems to be lovely, and this one does appear to be black and the other side's not. So you can see it's actually green. So I would hazard a, what do you reckon, Chris? It's definitely more than 50% that's been done, hasn't it? It's had some work done, because it does. It's black, it's very solid, and obviously the other side is green. So that's as far as we got so far. We are now just going to spin it round, and we're going to start working on the back end. On with it, and I thought now is the time to cut in and do a little bit of an update. We'll start here because this is the nearest to where I am. This back bumper, obviously I'm not as up on these as Chris is. Chris, these were his era and he was really into them, and he actually said to me this is an original Range Rover Classic rear bumper, and that LSE kit literally slips over the top. So absolutely incredible. They just literally fit the bumper over the top of an original one with no end caps on it. We've got round here now, all these panels obviously are aluminium, so there's no rot in them. We haven't got in depth right up there yet, but it does all look really, really good, and it was very well protected by the rear bumper. I've put that away now, which I really did want to do a bit on it, just to say, normally a bumper just comes to here and has a couple of screws on it. That bumper actually folded right round as far as you can get in there, and then right up onto two 10 mils, and we actually had to drop it down and then out to get it off. But you would have seen there on the time lapse, there was a lot to get off. We took that tow bar off, and to be fair, we'll probably not even bother putting that back on. It's not original. You could put tow bars, and the mounting holes were there for it, but overall we are quite pleased with the outcome, with what was behind that back bumper. The chassis is just pure surface rust. There's no rot in it whatsoever. You can see it's all very solid, and it's still all very nice inside. So that will be just getting treated, obviously, with the paint. The actual start of the back panel here that holds the boot, that is all sorry, I'll keep pointing that camera down. It is all absolutely solid. So overall, we are really, really happy with that. But Chris just said, let's strip out all the carpets and bits and pieces in the boot. And this is going to be as much of a shock for you as it was for me. Let's come back to it in a sec. Here's all the stuff. This sound deadening was on the floor. As you can see, there's the holes where the old gas conversion used to come. We've took out all the panels, carpets, the spare wheel, like I said in a previous video, a brand new spare wheel, never been on the car, still with its original tyre. Guys, this is the shocking bit. It's not a problem because, you know, we expected some work, but we will be doing it. But we started stripping it out, and this is where the spare wheel goes. This is where everybody was worried about, and obviously all the inner panel. And as you can see, they're absolutely lovely. Let me just grab a torch, one sec. As you can see, they're all very, very solid. But guys, after pulling the carpet up, we're not quite sure what's going on, but we have discovered this. Somebody has screwed down a piece of ply over the floor. We are going to be stripping this out in a moment and getting involved in finding how how far the floor has gone, because Chris, when he was underneath, said, Rob, it looks like there's wood up there. And that's kind of why we wanted to get straight in here and get this stripped out. The seat belts are actually screwed through it. We're hoping that the mounting points are still underneath there. We know that the floors are available. This is longer than a normal floor. Obviously it is the LSE, and as you can see, it is huge. But you can buy a new replacement floor for it, so we will be doing that. But the good thing is, obviously this back panel is solid, and all of this along here is just surface rust. So we have got a very, very good base to weld in a new floor pan there, and obviously we will make a really nice job of it. All of this in here seems to be solid, and it doesn't appear that this ever had any water in it. So that is absolutely brilliant news for us. But this is not so good news. We are now going to go round, undo all the screws in it, get that removed, and see how bad that rear floor is. So as you see on that time lapse, that took some getting out. It's actually been glued in and all screwed down all the way around. So that was quite tough. The hole for the fuel pump is like a lot bigger than it should be. That's why I never really noticed it when we was taking that fuel pump in and out. It's just quite black around there, and I genuinely just didn't notice. But guys, look, the whole floor is completely missing. Absolutely incredible. I'm going to get a bit of light. It's not bad news. I'll be honest, when we first saw it, I was quite worried. But again, on that time lapse there, Chris did just whip round it with the wire wheel. This has been, obviously, it's had some rot in it, and that rot's been cut away. But instead of just cutting the rot away, it has been completely cut out, and the floor actually spot welds to these rails. I'm going to go round to the inside. If you see there, that's why I've brought the torch with me. These are actually the spot welds where the floor spot welds down, and it actually sits in this recess all the way along here. So we've got a very good base. We're literally going to have to clean this up, put the new floor on it, and plug weld it and seal it in there. While we was there, we did strip out the back seats, and we stripped out all the carpet, and we've got good news on the rear floor. As you can see just here, we've got very minimal surface rust, but the rear floor is absolutely solid and untouched. So we are really chuffed about that. Chris is actually sitting in the chair as we speak, pricing up a boot floor. What we do know is that the boot floors from the website we've just been on, they're the same as a Discovery, Chris, did you say? Same as a Discovery, but they're not big enough. They're not long enough. So they do sell 3 sections of this floor, or the whole floor. So what we're actually going to do is buy a whole floor plus 1 section, so that we do get the correct length for this car, and obviously we'll trim it down and cut it as and where we need to. So although this does look quite bad news, it's not bad news. We expected it to have some rot in the boot floor, and we was possibly going to have to put a section in it anyway. As you can see, again, the rear wheel turrets, these do go. I've watched many videos, and obviously we've had these cars before. Chris has had quite a few, and they do tend to really rot out here. But this is a very solid car. I know looking at that floor, you're going to say, Rob, you're crazy. How can you say that that's solid? But believe me, this is solid for one of these cars. It's very, very old. All these inner wings. I mean, quite a lot of you kept recommending that guy in Ireland that did a restoration on one. And I did sit there and watch it, where he'd done the whole thing in one video after. And guys, he had to replace all these. He had to repair these. That car that he had was an absolute rot box. And if you have watched that video and you're watching this, you'll know that this is very, very far from rotten for a car of this era. And you could tell by the outside of it, it was quite nice. And don't forget, it sat in Chris's yard for a long time. It really has stood the test of time. And we expected some work, so we will be welding in a new boot floor. And when the new owner gets it, what a lovely thing to know that it's got that solid back floor in it. We're going to be checking the front one. If it needs replacing, we'll replace it. So it's going to be completely solid and have a brand new boot floor, and knowing as well that I'm going to have some pictures and camera evidence of just how lovely this is. Don't forget, we'll be cleaning it all up, and when we paint the boot floor, we'll probably paint all that in there to match as well, and then put it all back together bit by bit. You can see that roof lining, I did mention in another video, but you can see it hanging down there and just how bad it is, but we have got that sorted. So guys, obviously as usual, let me know what you think in the comment section about this and about everything else that on the car. Let me know what you think. What was you expecting last time when we done a video on it? How bad was you expecting it to be? Because for me and Chris, we have just sat there and had a chat about it, and we're quite happy still. We're still over the moon with what we paid for the car and what we've achieved today and how much we're going to need to spend on it. This car is going to look absolutely beautiful once it's done, and we're going to know, there's always going to be that peace of mind that all this is done correctly, and each and every one of you guys that follows the video is going to see that. I must apologise for the bit of backlight there. I genuinely didn't realise the torch was on the camera, so it was reflecting back there somewhat. Guys, if you haven't already, check us out on Instagram, Salvage Rebuilds. I've put 2 or 3 sneak peeks up of this today, and I know some of you do like to look, and you know that there's obviously going to be a video coming. I do plan on uploading a video of this tonight. We are now going to sit down, write out a list of everything we need, i.e. boot floor plus a repair section. We're going to order one seal for it, and we're going to use that on both sides. We're going to be cutting it up. Sorry, speaking with my hands there quite a lot. Yeah, we're going to go through everything we need, see what repair panels they do for the front there, and if they don't, obviously Chris will need to make them. But yeah, let us know what you think. And if this is your first time to the channel, please consider subscribing. We upload videos. This is going to be a massive series on this now for the next few months. We upload videos on 2 to 3 a week, as many as we can possibly get out there. We do put them out there, and I'm sure we'll do something that you really do find interesting. So if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Guys, that will be the end of the video today. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, check out the merchandise in the merch store. The link is in the description. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one.